Hello and welcome back to the channel. Well, family, I think I want to start another series kind of similar to the toxicity series where, we're trying to separate ourselves from toxic people and environments and habits and things of that nature. That's a series that can be ongoing because there is no end to what is toxic in our lives. That's a detriment to our spiritual well-being as well as our natural well-being. Well, anyway, this series is going to kind of be a spin-off of a video that I did many years ago that has gotten a lot of attention over the years. It even sparked some people to come and visit us at the Kodesh events after seeing the video. Anyway, it's the video where I explained why I am no longer a goddamn Christian. And so that's what this series is going to be about, because there is no end to the stories that you will find that will make you thank the Most High, our Creator, that you are no longer a goddamn Christian. And so in this, of course, feel free to share stories with us, things that you may know about that I may not have talked about before. But anyway, the subject of this particular video is the fact that Kirk Franklin is calling out the church because he believes that they are homophobic. So it says Kirk Franklin calls out homophobia in the church and says that there's nothing to do with the Bible. There's nothing to do with the Bible. So as I read this article, you're going to notice that he is talking with, what do they call it, a double tongue or forked tongue or whatever. He's contradicting himself in some of the things that he says in this article. So what are you trying to say here? Let me go ahead and jump into this, family. Anyway, this is going to be part one of why I am no longer a goddamn Christian, because they just can't, you can't convince me anymore that Christianity has anything to do with the Most High, especially when they are trying to justify things that are clearly not justifiable in the Bible. But yet he says nothing to do with the Bible. Okay, it says Franklin appeared on a SiriusXM radio show to promote his new podcast, Good Works with Kirk Franklin. In a recent interview on SiriusXM radio show, Kirk Franklin called out homophobia in the church, saying that it has nothing to do with the Bible. So I'm trying to figure out what the heck do you mean by that? Anyway, Franklin has been making award-winning music for decades now and is currently making waves in another medium. While promoting his new podcast, Good Words, the Grammy-winning songwriter spoke out against homophobia in the black church in a recent interview with Clay Kane. Spoke out against. First of all, let me just get back to the article. It trips me out how a person says you have a phobia because you don't agree with something. So if I don't like pork, is that called porkophobia? So whenever you want to label someone with something that sounds bad, you call it a phobia. Let me get back to the article, y'all, because some of y'all already know where my mind is right now. Okay. It says Franklin told the radio host, "What is very important to understand is that the pulpit is not a bullying place. And we have to also understand that no group of people are monolithic. No black person, all black people do not think the same, do not process the same. Not all LGBTQIA plus people all think and process the same." Anyway, he continues on by saying, "It's that you have some LGBTQIA plus people that make decisions, like I have some close gay friends who make decisions based on their interpretation of the Bible." Let me read that part again. Based on their interpretation of the Bible. "And they live out their lives based on whether celibacy or whether they choose to do and they should have the right to do that. First of all, his words are kind of twisted and jumbled to me. What are you talking about, Kirk? And what do you mean, whatever they choose to do? See, y'all trying to make us think that Christianity means that you automatically choose to do what's right or righteous in the sight of God, as you call him. That's what y'all would have us to believe. But now you're saying is whatever they choose to do? Okay, you're going to have to make that make sense to me, Kirk. Anyway, let me continue on. He then warned of using the good book to justify homophobia. Oh my goodness. What is this man talking about? So he's saying, or he's giving a warning. A warning from who? Who the hell is this warning coming from? He warns of using the good book to justify homophobia. Okay. He explained further. We have to not weaponize the Bible to cover up a lot of times our homophobic views that have nothing to do with the Bible. A lot of our people that maybe profess Christianity, they have views that are not even bibliocentric. What's bibliocentric? What is that? It says it's their personal views that they do not understand. Sometimes maybe the biology of homosexuality. And so they want to find a scripture to try to justify their own homophobic views. He says, you can't abuse people from a platform because that ain't love. That's not the gospel. To take a microphone and weaponize it to hurt people and to condemn people. He also addressed white evangelicals in the interview, saying if every church would have had the uniformed message, collectively, we all agree and align ourselves with the biblical truth that slavery and racism, they're sins. It could have never existed in America. Franklin concluded, so we have to stop majoring in the areas that God says that we minor in. The majors are the areas of the heart that need to change. The lack of compassion and empathy for our brothers and sisters does not reflect what God is and who he is and the message that his son taught to us. This man is speaking with a forked tongue. On the surface, everything sounds so lovely, doesn't it? On the surface, it sounds lovely. But basically, even with what he said about slavery, he is going against what was prophesied. With this whole thing about homophobic views. So what are you saying? That you can do whatever you want in the church? And that God, as you call him, is okay with it? Is that what you're trying to say, Kirk? Because if you're going to say that you live by the Bible, then you need to open up the book and get an understanding. And all thy getting, get understanding. In all of thy getting, get understanding. Either you live by the Bible or you don't. Now, I'm okay with you calling yourself a Christian, but don't try to attach Christianity to the Bible then. If you're going to look at what's spoken of in the Bible, the truth of what the Bible says, and throw it to the curb and try to make it seem like God, as you call him, is okay with it. See, it's stuff like this right here. This man trying to justify things. He's telling people not to use the Bible. He's warning people like some type of biblical warning or some type of holy warning from God above. Don't use the Bible to justify things. It sounds like you're using the Bible to justify something, not the other way around, bub. It sounds like you're the one trying to use the Bible. My thing is this: get away from the Bible. You can stay a Christian all you want, because Christianity has no roots in the Bible whatsoever, other than a heathenistic practice. Okay, if you understand the history of Christianity as outlined in the Whited Out documentary part 3, The Strong Delusion, you will see that Christianity has no direct connection to the Bible. None whatsoever. So you can stay a Christian, but find another book, okay? Write your own, as a matter of fact, because if you're going to try to say that Christianity comes from the Bible or is a product of the Bible, then you got to make it line up with what the Bible says. You ain't lining up with what the Bible says, Kirk. And it is for this reason, among many others, that I am no longer a goddamn Christian. Okay? This is part 1 in the series. Okay? If you have any other stories you'd like to share with me along these lines of why you are no longer a goddamn Christian, please feel free to share them in the comment section. If you have joined us on Patreon, you can leave the message over there. If you have my email, leave it there. But I want to hear your stories on why you decided to jump ship. Okay? If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, share and like this video. And with that, I'm out.